Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly Ascension Angel Messages for June 29th through July 5th, 2026. So, a warm welcome to all of you and to any of you who are new to our Angelic Wisdom community. Welcome to you as well. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you are subscribed, select the all notification bell, like the video, leave your comments, and also share. This week, I will be working on the monthly Ascension Angel messages for July. So that we should see coming out probably on the 30th or the 1st. So if you haven't checked out the previous month's video, that link will still be here at the beginning of this reading. And then I'll change the link after I've made the other video for July. So just be on the lookout for that. If you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. That link you'll find in the video below this video. And if now that I'm on my summer months, I do have some classes that I need to take for my job. I think on Tuesday evenings, every Tuesday, I think, up until I hope maybe the second week of August or something like that, second or third week of August. But otherwise, I'll be available from 12 to 6 or 12 noon to 6 p.m. And on Tuesdays, I have that class at 6:30, I believe, for my job. So anyway, and if you just like to support my channel with a donation, then you can go to my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom. Also, you can find that in the description area beneath the video as well. So let's begin with setting an intention for this week. And as I was about to do that, I still see it. It's like I'm looking at a movie screen inside of a theater, and everybody has their hands sort of like reaching out to the screen as if something is about to shift. And it's almost as if we are inviting something new into our lives. So it's almost like one of my friends was explaining to me about the idea that, there are all these different worlds, right? Let's say like infinite earths, and we exist on all of them, but and the possibilities exist within each and every one of them for us, and that we switch unknowingly. Our consciousness just shifts unknowingly to these various earths. And this is what this feels like, that just sort of a layman's way of putting this is we're shifting realities. And if this kind of helps at all with a deeper level of understanding of what shifting a reality could be like. And it seems like we're collectively all ready and wanting for this shift to occur. So one, that we're all expecting it collectively. That's the big thing about being in this theater and seeing all the hands reaching up to this movie screen. So it's interesting how this movie screen plays a huge symbolic role in our life and in our lives. Maybe the whole idea of theater or cinema is this very transformative experience, and that it has some connection to reality and consciousness as we might understand it, or we may be understanding it in this moment. I did see the word storm. So this shift, like all change, we have a reaction to it. And that's what the storm is. The storm is our reaction of fear to what we want. We want it. We're excited. We are ready for the manifestation. I saw on the screen um, my symbol. When I see a phallic symbol, it's my symbol for manifestation. And so we're all ready for this manifestation. We all can sense it coming. Um, we know we're on a different path. We know that we shift, or we are shifting earths, so to speak, earth realities. And we're stepping into greater possibilities, higher possibilities, enormous possibilities. And enormous doesn't mean that it is big or small. It's just that the small or the big could be life changing for you. It could be an enormous shift for you, depending on how open you have been in the past to shifts. So you've experienced the possibilities of these realities multiple times. I think multiple is just totally understating infinite number of times in a day you experience um, the desire for a shift in reality, or the you feel the hope, or um, you feel it within your reach, your or your beliefs, or you're opening up to it in some way. There's a myriad of ways that this can be experienced, and I'm just hoping that these words I'm finding and these descriptions using those words that I'm finding help you to unlock the ways that you might have encountered it an infinite number of times within your day. So if you have allowed yourself to believe, if you've allowed yourself to go beyond your belief in these realities, and you've taken just steps, like those moments that you start something and never finish it, but every one of those starts was on it was a part of that choosing of infinite possibilities within your day. So isn't it interesting to feel better about um, this, right? Especially those of us who we start so many things and never finish them. But here's the thing: you started them. Doesn't matter if you didn't finish them, because what it says is that you're open to the possibilities, the infinite possibilities within your day. You totally are aware of them. You just didn't realize how powerful they were on the other side if you actually stayed with it long enough. This is almost like giving birth to a reality, being born, being incarnated, but only choosing to stay for a few hours or days. It's like being a newborn infant who doesn't have a long life. Oh, wow. So, I've always said change is, I like to call change the little death, because the big death is the one that we're all afraid of. And it's the one that makes all change um, frightening, really. Because death, when we change while still being alive, we know that parts of us are going to die. And we are not ready to grieve loss, or any type of loss. And so you might say to yourself all the time, "Well, I never want to die." And you believe that. But you probably tell yourself, "I want to change." And you believe that. But guess what? You're afraid of it. You're afraid of the change. And is that what we're really afraid about when it comes to death, the big death? Are we just really afraid of moving on to our next life possibility? And that you have dipped your toes many times into different realities, which are just like life itself. And if we want to go with this whole idea of stepping into different realities on different earths, sort of if you had seen, because it's been a while, like that whole series that was on television with Flash and Arrow, I think Superman, like they blended at one point because they ended up on exploring these ideas of different Earth realities that are happening all at the same time, and how we were all, because of the mindset, the beliefs, and the consciousness of each Earth was different. The person and their life um, was different, right? There was a central connection, I think, in each, but there were variations, and we could almost think of like realities as being like a musical composition of variations on a theme. There's just infinite numbers of them, and that you have been tapping into them, although you didn't stay very long, doesn't mean that you're a failure anymore, does it? It means that you have a lot of courage to change your reality, that you're actually a reality maker. By you stepping in, having the power, the courage to step into those realities, even if it's not for very long, you show others the way. You you help others connect. It's like you build bridges for others to notice that there are other realities and that they are possible. And if you are one who plans for that reality, sets their sights on that reality, and just keeps moving forward towards that reality with faith and nurturing that reality and bringing it to fruition and then embracing others, then you know what it's like to go from one to the next. But whether you choose, the thing about it is that none of these examples are better than the other. Because whether we like it or not, change is a part of life. Life on the bigger stage, like on the multiverse stage, on the universal stage, on our world stage, on our community stage, on your soul level, right? On the stage of your soul that is infinite and knows that life in itself is infinite. It is fully aware that change is a part of the journey of life, and that life neither ends or begins. It's just always unfolding, transforming, evolving, becoming brighter, more enlightened, wiser, more knowledgeable, And so whether you feel like you've been making choices or not, choices are always made in the end. Whether you saw yourself as being an active participant, maybe sort of leading, pioneering those choices, or if you feel like you've been dragged through it, it is still the choice of your being. Your being always makes a choice, makes the best choice, considering where you are with the choices that are confronting you. It will understand, and they write in the word purity, it clearly ascertains the purity of your desire and takes into account all the other components, like your hesitation and the reasons for that, your fear and the triggers that might set that off for you in a way that's not best for you at this moment. It's not ever avoiding fear, but it's setting the stage for growth to happen at the most opportune moment, not delaying, but just being patient, not judging, but fully being open to who you believe you are in every moment of your choice making. And so this idea that being dragged or being a pioneer, all relative. Really, these are just ways of categorizing, compartmentalizing, but maybe not really reality from that pure foundation, spark of who you are. So have no fear. The storm is just as an important divine facet of this expectation and excitement about this wonderful manifestation. And I say wonderful because without judgment, meaning all manifestations are wonderful and are miracles, because however it is that you perceive what is happening to you, and that is up to you, a transformation is unfolding, one that will bring healing and abundance. It will bring it all. It will bring it all because, again, it is bringing what you need while bringing you what you deserve. And if you really understood how lessons work, all lessons are challenges. Even learning how to die and how to be born again and how to embrace the love in that conflict, they write, is an extraordinary lesson. A lesson that will set you free from your judgment. And once you become freer from judgment, you will feel more alive. But the circumstances of life, the duality, the contrast, that doesn't go away. It just becomes less antagonizing and maybe a little bit more fulfilling. That the soul finds this refreshing, Variety is refreshing. Contrast, it's refreshing. It doesn't allow one thing it doesn't allow one thing like good and bad to be more important than the other, but that all things are serving our spiritual growth, helping to make our lessons more interesting. And more obtainable. Yeah, they push us, challenge us, push us out of our comfort zones, urging us on beyond our achievements to other realities, full of other possibilities. And that opens up a portal, not just for you, but for others. You're never opening a portal just for yourself, a portal of possibilities, realities, and abundance, well-being. It's not just for you when you go through something, it's for everybody else. Consciousness shifts, the collective consciousness shifts, benefits from all that you have gone through and endured. Every celebration, every moment of grief, every loss is a benefactor to the collective consciousness. And so everything that's happening in the world right now, the extraordinary contrast, which some of us are labeling hell, and some of us are labeling epiphanies. But it's just extraordinary contrast, and we are all benefiting from it. We're all benefiting from it. And the momentum of the greater good is rushing to be fulfilled through the extraordinary contrast, quite elaborate contrast. We all might feel like giving up right now, and we might feel like we've lost right now, and we have. We're losing. We're really losing. We're collectively losing. You see, again, that great conflict that I just talked about before, the dying and the being born again. They are never separate, but they happen simultaneously. They are one moving divine entity. So our consciousness focuses on one or the other because it has not learned with heart to embrace both as one. And so if you are in one camp or the other, you see the downfall coming or a splintering of realities considered the downfall or the fall. And if you're in the other camp, you see a splintering of infinite realities as well. See others infinite realities of the ascension, the great revolution and evolution. You see it, you are focused upon it. When we're in the two camps, The other camp says the other one is blind and stupid, out of touch with reality. The one whose heart can see it all, embrace it all, and seeks to understand it, will understand that the conflict of life and death is just about the beginnings supported by endings, or urged upon by endings. They thrust us in, the endings thrust us into new beginnings. And our collective consciousness is no longer satisfied with our splintering differences of opinions, of egos. And the great ascension is about all of this coming together collectively, all the splintered parts being embraced as the whole, and focused and centered no longer through life and death, but just through life. Living life. I hesitate to say living life to the fullest because it implies a camp. Just living life, leaving it right there in the middle. And when we all come together to just live life, then we start embracing what life is and stop fighting against it, then stop fighting within ourselves and fighting with each other about it all. We stop imposing ourselves on others and allowing others to impose themselves upon us. We end the conflict. And this sets us all free, those who are choosing to join collectively in realities that will flourish because more collective attention is given to them. Right now, we're splintered in all sorts of directions, and that's why our lives in the world feels like it's just always filled with drama. But you got to be comfortable with that drama first in order to be comfortable with your reality, the reality that is possible for you, the reality where you find fulfillment, the reality where you don't have to protect that fulfillment or that reality because you're not afraid of influence, outside influence, because now we're the keepers of our own garden, our own reality of contentment, of peace, of joy. We take total responsibility, and we know when something goes wrong, we'll sense the energy coming, not as if something is going to be done to us from the outside, but we'll sense it coming from within, something that we're stirring up, to stir up the mix of our reality. And maybe you won't be able to stop it all the time, but maybe it'll happen less. And maybe you'll understand that if you're stirring up something, it's because you're ready for another change. And so you let it come. You won't fight it. You will embrace that storm. You will embrace that death, even though you know your focus is on life, living life. From one moment to the next, from one reality to the next, from one lifetime to the next lifetime. And you won't fear the transitions between life and life, but embrace them as the passage forward into more life. Okay, let's just see which archangel we're working with. Archangel Gabriel, again, right? At least recently. I haven't seen him that often, but it's been often enough to feel like it was just last week, but probably not. But what Archangel Gabriel brings is an extraordinary sense of clarity. And I think when he came in, if it was a week ago or 2 weeks ago, it was bringing that concept in to us. And now it's something we're ready for. There's a growing intensity and support, he writes, for this completion of what was just described for you, this collective beckoning, beckoning and reckoning, a beckoning for the reckoning that would allow us all to be set free from our self-imposed detachment from collective oneness. We're all ready for this shift. This is a shift of the ages. And like I said, it comes with a storm. It's going to set things off. So get ready for that. But if you understand what was just said, the contrast is divine. And you don't need to be argumentative. They don't want you to participate in this in an argumentative way. They want you to hold space through it. To hold space for love, the embracing effect of love. That's the space they want you to hold through it, if that's your role. Your role might be to participate in it fully. I don't know where the word skirmish, but I don't know what that even means. But it's like, if you're meant to be in there, then that's where you're supposed to be. You'll know who you are, because no matter what I'm saying to you right now, you're going to do what you want to do, and that is right for you. Just know that. Don't try to be the person that holds the space if you can't stay in that place, because there's plenty of people around the world who may not even be aware of it, but that's what they're going to do. They're going to step into that role, just like every one of us is going to step into the role of contrast that is going to be on display to make this shift happen. It's going to take time for it to fully divest and unfold, but just know that this is what's going on. Think of it as like the collective is just switched on. The entire collective. We're switched on, and it's like showtime. And all the lights are on, and everybody knows their role somehow. The clarity will come through this stormy contrast, but it will bring endings and new beginnings. And they're not giving me or you a timeline, although there may be others giving them, and those are not inaccurate or accurate, but they are possibilities. They are feelings, very strong feelings. Remember, because we're all contrast and we're all in it in different ways, and we're all focused on it in different ways. And there's nobody better because of how they're focused. All of those numbers that are popping up, like I'm really been seeing a lot about 2027 just being the takeoff point for this. And right now, until then, this is the skirmish. Still don't know what that word means, but anyway, I'm not a sports fan. But and between 2027 and 2032, that plan of consciousness will move collectively together, seemingly, but not fully in an integrated way. But what's dying, what's falling, is preparing. And we're already witnessing it. But when people are online, so to speak, when the light switch, the whole switchboard is on, then it makes more sense. People have more clarity about their roles and how they need to get in there and do what they're supposed to do to bring about these endings. It's going to be a lot of grief. Nobody is going to be able to escape the grief of loss. I'm talking about whatever it is you think was so important to you all this time. We're all going to go through that. I'm probably, I know so. I have more to go through on that. I can't imagine what it is, but it's just going to happen. Just like none of us are going to be able to imagine what we are about, to the newness that's going to come into our lives. How our earth, our reality is going to change together. We're going to do it together. Instead of doing it in our own pockets of reality on different earths, we're going to come together collectively in a neutral place of earthiness, some place that's neutral in consciousness, free of the concerns of different realities. And this is going to happen consciously, like but it's also going to happen within the frequency of our cells at a cellular level, on a spiritual and soul level. And you might not even know why you're acting the way you're acting, or seeing or understanding and perceiving things the way you are. It's just all a part of that. We haven't turned a card over. Let's get moving. This is huge information. Not anything I was expecting to talk about. The Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of aloneness, the nines, the Hermit, right? This is something that we have to go through for ourselves. This card is about, becoming financially stable. But it's a mindset of the self that has to shift, a sense of self-reliance that starts to attract, securities. Securities in what you invest your time and your money and your talents and your gifts in. Those things have the ability to yield um, for you, right? They're going to pay off, but in the way that you become more clear and sure about yourself and about the reality that you want, these sort of worldly manifestations just become a clearer focus and a greater ease to accomplish. Just can't be afraid to walk through that door. The shadows on one side, the light, full light on the other side. It implies giving up something. And I don't know, they just wrote the word expression, right? So maybe creativity is a challenge for you. Just this is what I'm just seeing. Let that go. If you do, I see champagne, like meaning celebration on the other side of that. The 10 of Wands, from going from 1-9 to 10, this is talking about like changing realities, changing suits. And we've changed from the suit of, pentacles to wands, spiritual. So this apparent physical um, seeking, this seeking of physical securities really brings about this burden, this spiritual burden, right? And it can feel overwhelming. How do you navigate this? This feeling like I got to do it all by myself. No, reach out for help. Don't take too much onto yourself. Stay as light as you can, right? It just looks like the fool's journey almost. You got a long road ahead of you, but and we do collectively. But the more we keep our burdens light, that means we need along the way, as we gain more, we need to make really clear decisions about what is no longer serving us and let them go. Let them go. I don't know, less is better is another phrase that's coming. Less is better. So if this is too complicated, if you're putting too much responsibility on yourself, like setting too high of a price of a goal, of accomplishment, do you really need that? Reevaluate that so that you don't have this overwhelming sense of, I guess I'm going to get to, like, it's like you don't want to set yourself up for failure. You want to set yourself up for success. And is some of that stuff you put on yourself, was that like others' expectations? And you're just still trying to live up to them, and your soul, your spirit can't take it. They're right, pointless. Your spirit finds it pointless. It's not going to support you. So you got to become honest with yourself. Ask Archangel Gabriel to help you to be honest with yourself. Pray to him, ask him for clarity to help clear your whatever it is that's blocking you from expressing what you truly deserve, what you truly desire, or what you're truly after or seeking. Page of Cups. So now we switch to this personality, one that's more intuitive, in touch with its self, one that is extremely sensitive and vulnerable. And these are the qualities that you really need right now. You might see this as a weakness and something that you've been trying to push away, but it's at a real core, it's a strength. And it's a strength that you need to begin to explore. how to be vulnerable. Because the world of the ocean is vast, right? There's more ocean than there is land. And, being this little fish in this huge ocean where so many things can happen and go wrong, the survival of this fish to make it to whatever destination or goal that is, aspiring towards is probably could be very unlikely. But being in that space of vulnerability causes us to start to learn how to be a champion. That, it's no big deal if something goes wrong. It's no big deal to be the little fish in a huge ocean. It's only the fear that makes it so, not the truth. So don't limit yourself any longer if you've been seeing yourself as not big enough, strong enough, powerful enough. The things that you associate with those things are the things that are dying. Those are part of the ending that's coming. And this action of the Page of Cups puts you in alignment with that which is to come, the great shift where love is the superpower of our lives. And here we got the Magician card coming. And so this really just speaks to that you have it's like we're seeing this aerial view, right? Of the world and this tree. This tree, which is something that seems to be a focus, like something that you're focusing on. You'll have an aerial view of it once you realize that love is the great understated power of the universe. It's the only power of the universe. And this is where all the elements of the world responds to you. Everything, once you realize that love is the superpower, not the big towering buildings and the people sitting in the huge offices or these, long established unspoken rules of what success is and the path to travel to get there. Once you let go of all of those imposed beliefs, then your true spirit is in total freedom. It feels like the sun is love and it's now shining directly onto you because you got rid of all those clouds, those self-imposed beliefs. The clouds are gone. And isn't that interesting? Because we're seeing clouds here. And now, what you truly desire, it's clear to you as day, just how within reach it's always been for you. And it was just those doubts, those clouds of doubt and fear that was just blocking you from seeing your truth, your reality. Oh. And we shifted from different realities here, but it's so interesting how they came all together. So I send you lots of love and angel blessings for an extraordinary opportunity that we're willing to walk, that we're all walking into together. This is the start of this portal that is opening, where there's a storm, because that's the transition. However, but we're all entering it collectively together, whether we're kicking and screaming or not, but we're all going through it because at the soul level, this choice is being made by all. Doesn't matter what their ego, the persona that's been projected to you and that you see over that. That's why we have to get in tune with our intuition and our vulnerability, because that's the way we can sense, discern truth over illusion. And that's how we're going to get through it, because that's going to go online. It's going to wake up, and then that's when we're all going to be totally clear about our realities versus our illusions. Have a beautiful week, and God bless you.